Today's topic is so important because we're talking about how to get a house. So if you're 18 years of age and above, you're a resident in Canada, and you've ever thought about getting a house in Canada, this might be the most important video you watch today. So stay till the end so you don't miss all the important tidbits that we'll be sharing today. Hi, good people. How are you? How has your week been? I hope it's been great. Mine has been so. A lot of new immigrants in Canada are desirous to have a home. I mean, who doesn't want to have their own house, right? To do with it the way you want. But sometimes they have an issue with actually coughing up the down deposit, which is between 5 to 20% of the value of the house. So you find a lot of new immigrants not able to purchase their houses. And another thing is that they find it difficult to make those savings, sometimes because of the taxes that are involved when you make withdrawals. Today, I will tell you about a way that you can actually save and buy your house tax-free. It is so important. So if you've ever wanted to get a house in Canada and you've been looking for a way to be able to save that down deposit, then you want to listen up. Guys, some of the things we'll be talking about are going to be technical because we're talking about getting a mortgage and buying a home, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. So please stay with me, yeah? If it gets too technical, just give me a nudge in the comments below and I'll make it simpler. So let's go. So just in case you haven't heard of it, I would like to introduce you to the First Home Savings Account, or the FHSA. This is something that was introduced by the federal government in the 2022 federal budget, and it helps first-time home buyers save towards purchasing their first home. There's an annual contribution limit of $8,000 with a lifetime limit of $40,000 per person. The beautiful thing is that the contributions are tax deductible, just like an RRSP, and the qualifying withdrawals are tax-free, just like a tax-free savings account. So this is like a combination of the benefits of an RRSP and a TFSA. If you don't know what an RRSP and a TFSA are, or the benefits of these two, then drop a comment below so that I can do another video explaining what a TFSA and an RRSP are and how you can benefit from those that will help you to stay buoyant financially in Canada. Now you might be wondering if you qualify, and I'm going to tell you. Now, the qualifying requirements are: 1, you must be a Canadian resident who is 18 years and above, and you must not have owned a home of your own in which you lived in the last 4 years preceding when you want to start the account. Even new Canadians who don't have a SIN number can also qualify. You can open an FHSA with a temporary tax number. So I'm sure by now you're wondering, how does this First Home Savings Account work? And how are you going to benefit from it? And I'm going to tell you. First of all, let's talk about the contribution room. I know I mentioned it before, but I wanted to stress that the contribution room is $8,000 per year, beginning in the calendar year that you open the FHSA account, yeah? And if you have any unused contribution room from 1 year, you can carry it forward to the following year. So if you're not able to contribute the $8,000 in 1 year, that is carried forward to you to the following year, which is great because then you now have the chance to contribute what you were unable to contribute in the year when you opened the account. So let's do an example for the contribution room so that you can understand it. So let's say I open an account in 2023 this year, and I put in a contribution of $5,000 in year 1 this year when I opened it. And maybe because I couldn't get the $3,000, I wasn't able to contribute the $3,000. I would carry that $3,000 to the next year. So the next year I would have a room of $8,000 for that year, plus the $3,000 that I carried over from the previous year. I can make a contribution of $11,000 in that year, which is pretty cool. However, the carryover from 1 year to the next cannot exceed $8,000 for 1 year, which means that you cannot contribute more than $16,000 in the same calendar year. Okay, you cannot contribute more than $16,000. I hope that's clear. So for example, if I open an account this year and I was only able to contribute, say, $1,000, and I carry the $7,000 to the next year. And that next year, I was only able to contribute $1,000 as well. Then I carry that to the third year. Now, in the third year, usually I would have a contribution room of 8,000 plus 7,000 plus 7,000, but actually I cannot contribute more than 16,000 in that new year, in the year 3. Yeah, that's why if you can meet up the contribution room for each year, that would be really great. But unlike a TFSA or a tax-free savings account, the contribution room does not accumulate if an account has not yet been opened. However, for a tax-free savings account, if you hadn't contributed in the years, all the years, it would accumulate, but it's not the same thing for the first home savings account. You do not receive contribution for years that you have missed out. It only starts counting from the year that you opened your account. Also, unlike a tax-free savings account, if you withdraw money from your first home savings account that is not related to a home purchase, so you just removed money from the account, but you didn't intend to buy a house with it, you don't have that contribution room reinstated in the following year. So you have made the contribution and you've lost it. And this is unlike a TFSA where you get that contribution room back in the next year. Now, you might want to be smart and think that you can contribute more than the 8,000 for 1 year or for each year. However, if you do that, just like the TFSA, there's a 1% charge on the excess contribution amount for each month or part of a month. Yeah, so you would normally cease to be in an excess contribution by January 1st of the following year. So for example, if in 1 year, instead of contributing $8,000, you for some reason contributed $10,000, that means you have contributed $2,000 above your contribution, your maximum contribution limit. So you would have to pay a penalty of $2,000 times 1% for 3 months, or for the months that are remaining before that year ends. Yeah, so if I had made this excess contribution in, say, October, then I would have to pay that 1% for the 3 months until January of the following year. I hope that's clear. Now, the reason why I know this is exciting, because it's exciting to me, is that a lot of people really are struggling with making that down payment. And I'm confident that this first home savings account is going to help a lot of people alleviate that issue of having to put down the down payment for getting a house. Yeah. Now, what if you no longer plan to use the first home savings account to purchase a home? What can you do with the savings that you've already made? You can actually transfer it to another first home savings account, or you can transfer it to a retirement savings account or a retirement income account. You can also move the proceeds on a tax sheltered basis to a retirement savings account. So it's not like you lose the money. That savings will still be there if you move it to these accounts that I have mentioned. Now, I know that one question that might be coming into your mind is, what about the home buyer's plan? Yeah. So if you're interested in buying a home in Canada, I'm sure you know about the home buyer's plan. So the home buyer's plan is actually a plan that allows you to withdraw money from your retirement savings plan to buy a home. The good thing about the first home savings account is that you can purchase a home using both the first home savings account and the home buyer's plan. So this provides you the opportunity for an even larger down payment, especially if you wanted to buy a bigger house or a more expensive house, or a house in an area where the house prices are higher than normal. The first home savings account withdrawal does not have to be paid back, whereas the home buyer's plan withdrawal must be repaid to the home buyer's retirement savings plan or included in your taxable income. So if you would allow me, I want to go a little bit deeper to compare the first home savings account and the RSP, the retirement savings account. Lifetime contribution room for the first home savings account is $40,000, an annual limit of $8,000. The retirement savings plan contribution room is based on your employment income. Now, for the first home savings account, there's no limit on the withdrawal amount, whereby for your retirement savings plan or your home buyer's plan, there's a maximum withdrawal of $35,000. For the first home savings account, no repayment is required, guys. No repayment is required. But for your home buyers plan, withdrawal is to be repaid within 15 years, beginning the second year following the withdrawal. For the first home savings account, it requires 5 calendar years in order to fully fund it. So if you were putting your $8,000 every year for 5 years, by 5 years time, you would have fully funded it with $40,000. For the home buyers plan, maximum amount can be funded in the same calendar year. That's if your retirement savings plan contribution room is available. So it can be in that any calendar year, yeah? For the first home savings account, all the qualifying withdrawals are tax-free. So if you made a withdrawal to purchase a home, you will do that tax-free. But for the home buyers plan, it is tax sheltered. It's not tax-free, it's just tax sheltered. There's no waiting period to withdraw from the first home savings account, but there is an 80-day waiting period after depositing to a home buyers plan to be able to do any withdrawals. I also would like to mention that third-party contributions are not permitted to a first home savings account. For example, I am the only person or the only taxpayer that is permitted to deduct contributions made to my first home savings account. Yeah, so people can actually give money to their spouses or their adult children that they in turn can contribute to their own first home savings account. I know that some of us are very smart and you must be thinking, oh, I'm going to open multiple first home savings accounts so that I can get multiples of 40,000, but that is not going to be possible, yeah? If you open multiple accounts, it does not change the maximum contribution room that is available to you. So if you had 2 accounts, you would still have a maximum contribution room of just $40,000, yeah? The participation period for your first home savings account is based on the date when the first home savings account is opened. So if you went to open multiple accounts, yeah, your participation period is still based on when you opened the first account. So say, for example, I opened my first account on, say, October 1st, 2023, and I opened a second one on, say, March 1st, 2025. My participation period for both accounts ends on December 31st, 2038, regardless of the fact that the second account was in 2025. Meanwhile, the first account was in 2023. It's still the maximum of 15 years for both accounts. So guys, I know that I've been talking a bit technical today, but this is very important. Buying a home in Canada is a technical process. Yeah, you have to understand a lot of the processes, you have to understand a lot of terms, you have to understand a lot of acronyms, and you have to be very involved because this is your home you're buying and you want it to be the best. Like, you don't want to make any errors. So even if this is sounding technical, just stay with me. And if you've gained value so far, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Come on, give it a thumbs up, like it, so that more people will get this important information. Thank you so much. Now, let's talk about what qualifies as a qualifying withdrawal. I know I've talked a bit about it, that you must actually be withdrawing the money to buy a home, but I also want to stress that you must be a first-time home buyer. A first-time home buyer is someone who has not owned a home in which they have lived in the year of withdrawal or the previous 4 years following the year of withdrawal. Yeah, and you must have a written agreement to buy or to build a qualifying home before October 1st of the year following the year of withdrawal. So if you're withdrawing this year, you must have a written agreement to buy or build a qualifying home before October 1st of the following year, next year. And you must intend to occupy the home as the principal place of residence within 1 year of buying or building it. So it's not about buying a home to rent. It's about buying a home for you to occupy and live in as your principal place of residence. If you make a withdrawal for anything but a qualifying first home purchase, it is deemed as a non-qualifying withdrawal. And you would have to pay withholding tax on it, and the contribution room will not be reinstated for you. So for example, if you've made a contribution of $10,000 already and you had an emergency and you had to take that $10,000 out, you only have a contribution room of $30,000 left. So you've already made that contribution of $10,000, you took it out for something else, it doesn't reinstate. Yeah, the total amount that you can contribute to that first home savings account is still 40,000 because the monies you've taken, you've already withdrawn it, and it was for a non-qualifying withdrawal. If you would like to get information on how you can open a first home savings account, I'm going to leave some information in the description below, and also how you can contact me if you would like more guidance or if you have questions to ask. You can also ask your questions in the comments. I'll be looking at the comments and providing answers to questions that I see there. Now, some of the things that I want to point out about this first home savings account is that the contributions are tax deductible. Yeah, contributions do not affect your retirement savings plan contribution room. All investment gains are tax-free. Qualifying withdrawals are also tax-free. This is more tax efficient than the home buyer's plan. The home buyer's plan is great, but this is an even better plan. Your unused contribution room can be carried over to subsequent years. And in the event that a client or someone does not use the investment to purchase a home, the proceeds can be moved on a tax-sheltered basis to a retirement savings plan or a RRIF. If you've lived in Canada or you live in Canada, you must have known or heard that the housing prices are rising rapidly. This is combined with a recent spike in mortgage rates, which has effectively put the dream of owning a home further out of the reach of many Canadians. Many individuals have given up on the dream of having a home. They've resigned themselves to renting instead. Some people have postponed the purchase of a home, hoping that the prices will come down sometime soon. Others have downsized their dreams. Instead of buying a house, they are opting to purchase a condo or maybe an apartment. And this is really sad for something that can be avoided or something that can be helped. So the first home savings account is here to the rescue. You can actually purchase that home of your dream if you open a first home savings account. And like I said, if you want help, I'll leave a link below in the description of the video below. You can reach out to me and we can talk about how you can open your first home savings account. If you gain any value from this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like the video and share it. I know we talked about a lot of technical things, but won't you agree that that was necessary? Don't you feel that you know a little bit more about how you can get your first home in Canada? Come on, say it, you do. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate all of you for your likes, for your sharing, and then also for your thumbs up. Thank you also for stopping by and watching till now. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.